Hi, I'm Joel Cunningham, editor of the Barnes & Noble Science Fiction and Fantasy blog, here with the first B&N Sci-Fi Fantasy Mailbag since we got back from a short break over the holidays. When I did get back to work, there were so many packages in my cube I could barely fit inside, so let's try to clear some of them out of the way today. This one's called The Dragon's Legacy by Deborah Wolf. This is a debut epic fantasy that I've heard them talking about a little bit. It is being compared to Guy Gavriel Kay, Jacqueline Carey, and Frank Herbert's Dune, so high praise there. You know how epic fantasy is. It's really complicated world building. It's hard to explain in quick blurb, but check this one out. If you're fans of those authors, it's supposed to be really great. Relics by Tim Levin is horror more than sci-fi or fantasy, but he's an author that I think has a lot of crossover appeal. This is a dark fantasy thriller in the vein of Preston and Child. An underground black market for arcane things like rhino horns and tiger's bones, except mummified satyrs, griffin's claws, and more. So it's about dealings on the black market for creepy relics. And here's one from an author I like. Kieran Shea wrote the Coco series. This is a new book from him about a guy who's been working for decades mining on an asteroid and decides he wants to get some for himself, so he gets involved in a heist out in space. So that sounds pretty fun. Boxes. This is actually a repackaging of a book that came out a couple years ago. VN by Madeline Ashby is the first book in a trilogy about artificial intelligence, really cool concepts if you like AI stuff. They're repackaging these with slightly new covers because the third book, Rev, or possibly REV, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, is coming out later this year, so it's a chance to get reacquainted with the series. Here's a new one from a popular angry robot author, James A. Moore. This one's called The Last Sacrifice. He's well known for his Seven Forges novels. This is the first book in a new series from him. This one's about a warrior who lives in a world where the gods are real and accept sacrifices, but when his own family comes up for sacrifice, he doesn't take it well and decides to revolt against the gods. So, sounds like a losing bet to me, but we'll see how it goes. The Iron Ghost by Jen Williams is the second book in her Copper Cat series, which sound like classic, fun fantasy adventures for people who like dungeon crawls and hired mercenaries getting things done. This is about a group of mercenaries who get hired to do jobs for those in need. So they're in demand after the events of the last book, and they get involved in new shenanigans in this one. These are a lot of fun. Got a little goodie in here. This is a postcard with the cover, or with some art from the new Shauna Maguire novella they're releasing later this year. But this one is Proof of Concept by Gwyneth Jones. This one is about a woman who is living in a post-global warming, semi-apocalyptic world where everybody's trying to figure out what they can do to sustain human life. And some of that involves getting sentient machines implanted in their heads and going off to secret research facilities to do nefarious research. So this is a novella from Tor.com Publications, and that's coming out in April. And here's one from an author we've had a few times in the mailbag this year. She's got a lot of books coming out lately from Saga Press. This one is called Star's End by Cassandra Rose Clark. This one is corporate intrigue in space. A woman who's her father's chosen heir for a planet-spanning corporation. When he's nearing the end of his days, she has to figure out where to take the company in the future. So corporate intrigue in space, if you're not getting your fill of corporate intrigue on Earth. So those are the books in the B&N Sci-Fi and Fantasy Mailbag this week. Let us know in the comments which one you think sounds like one you'd like to pick up. Follow us on Twitter at BNSciFi, and come back next week for another installment of the B&N Sci-Fi and Fantasy Mailbag. Thanks.